Shalom, shalom, and welcome. Welcome to From Four Corners, a series of messages to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuah. To those who have come to accept Yahusha as Messiah, as our Mashyach, he that was sacrificed and resurrected from the grave and ascended before the right hand of the Father. This message is to you, my brothers, my sisters, my family. To you whom I believe will find that you will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and or multitude, or either strengthened and fortified to represent Yahusha Messiah and face a physical death as a martyr. These are strengthening words of encouragement, my brothers and sisters, in these series. Pray and seek the life in these words. This segment of From Four Corners is entitled Milk to Meat. Milk to Meat. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. Today is August 20th, 2014. My brothers and sisters, let me ask you this question. Who have considered the difference between milk and meat? Milk, the product of a living animal, or the product of a woman that requires drinking. It is fluid. It is something that does not require us to chew. Meat, on the other hand, requires chewing on it. How many have given thought to what occurs when you chew food? You break the food into pieces to uncover or unlock the juices, the nutrients, to begin the digestive process so that the body can absorb all that is right and all that is good. And for those of us who eat poorly, we find ourselves poisoning our bodies and facing diseases that are unnecessary. My brothers and sisters, this segment, Milk to Meat, it is to bring attention to the need for those of us who are still on milk, who are not making any effort to focus sincerely on what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying, to those of us who are just on the literal and contextual and fail to go into the spiritual, the living portion of what is presented. It is a message to start taking heed to what is important. Let me read the following to you. 1 Corinthians 3:2-3 says, I fed you with milk and not with solid food, for until now you were not able to receive it, and even now you are still not able. For you are still fleshly. For since there is envy and strife and division among you, are you not fleshly and walking according to man? Hebrews 5:12-13 reads, For indeed, although by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the first elements of the words of Elohim, and you have become such as need milk and not solid food. For everyone partaking of milk is inexperienced in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. 1 Peter 2:1-5 reads, Having put aside then all evil and all deceit and hypocrisies and envying and all evil words, as newborn babes desire the unadulterated milk of the word, in order that you grow by it, if indeed you have tasted that the Master is good. Drawing near to him a living stone, rejected indeed by men, but chosen by Elohim and precious. You also, as living stones, are being built up a spiritual house, a set-apart priesthood, to offer up spiritual slaughter offerings acceptable to Elohim through Yahusha Messiah. My brothers and sisters, where we witness the usage of milk in these passages, the words not able to receive, fleshly, walking according to man, first elements of the words of Elohim, need, put aside, newborn babies, and more are said about those who have yet to come into the awareness of walking in maturity in the fullness of the Spirit of Yahusha. How many of us have ever pondered to realize that milk is a product that requires water? Without water, there can be no milk. In other words, milk is a more simple form and functional product than water, but it requires water. With these words said, now allow me to present the following. Daniel 8:26 says, And what was said in the vision of the evening and morning is true, and hide the vision, for it is after many days. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there are times when things are hidden for a reason, for a purpose. Daniel 12:3-4 says, and those who have insight shall shine like the brightness of the expanse, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, hide the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall diligently search, and knowledge shall increase. Matthew 11:25. At that time Yahusha was responding, saying, I thank you, Father, Master of the heavens and earth, because you have hidden these matters from clever and learned ones and have revealed them to babes. What does it take, my brothers and sisters, for us to yield, for us to return to where we have fallen? What does it take for us to be humbled? We will soon find out, my brothers and sisters, because conditions during end times will make us become humbled, will represent the discipline from the Most High, will prove that in our humbleness we will discover where we have fallen. We will return to our first love. We will come to hear and see and watch what is revealed to us by Him who is Almighty. Colossians 1:25-29 reads, of which I became a servant according to the administration of Elohim, which was given to me for you to fill the word of Elohim, the secret which have been hidden from ages and from generations, but now has been revealed to His set-apart ones, to whom Elohim desired to make known what are the riches of the esteem of this secret among the Gentiles, which is Messiah in you, the expectancy of esteem, whom we announce, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, in order to present every man perfect in Messiah Yahusha, for which I also labor, striving according to the workings of Him who works in me in power. John 16:12-13 say, I still have many words to say to you, but you are not able to bear them now. But when He comes, the Spirit of truth, He shall guide you into all truth, for He shall not speak from Himself, but whatever He hears, He shall speak, and He shall announce to you what is to come. First, let me ask you, could this passage mean more than the time when He was speaking to His taught ones? Could He also be speaking to us now, giving these instructions to us now? Is it possible that these words have more life packed in them than the contextual? I ask you, my brothers and sisters, even the incident that occurred in the 2nd chapter of Acts, could it not be more? Is it not more for us to this day? Could the Mashyach also be referring to when we become aware of His set-apart spirit? In other words, when the Spirit of truth or the set-apart spirit of Yahusha sent in Yahusha's name, when it becomes more clearly and present to us, will we come to experience what it is meant to be guided, taught by His set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name? I think so. Allow me to read the following. Matthew 22:29. It reads, and Yahusha answered and said to him, you go astray, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of Elohim. Could this not mean, my brothers and sisters, that we must come to recognize the power of Elohim in order to fully know His scriptures, His writings? Who has come to realize that we lack because we fail to get to truly know the power of the Almighty One, Yahuwah? Who has come to realize much of our stumbling is due to us not identifying the living presence of the Spirit of Yahusha? Also, allow me to present Isaiah 66:4. It reads as follows, I shall also choose their punishments and bring their fears on them, because I called, but no one answered. I spoke, and they did not hear. And they did evil before my eyes and chose what was displeasing to me. My brothers and sisters, 2 Thessalonians 2:9-12 reads, the coming of the lawless one is according to the workings of Satan, with all power and signs and wonders of falsehood, and with all deceit of unrighteousness in those perishing, because they did not receive the love of the truth in order for them to be saved. And for this reason Elohim sends them a working delusion sent by Elohim, for them to believe the falsehood, in order that all should be judged who did not believe the truth, but have delighted in unrighteousness. Now I say to you, my brothers and sisters, there are those who will consume much time making the literal and contextual the priority, but I submit to you, soon you will come to know the shallowness of learning just the text if you ignore the living spirit of Yahusha. You will come to see by leaning on the text in or letter that it does pose the risk of death. Consider what is said in the passage of 2 Corinthians 3:6, which informs us that the letter kills, but the spirit makes alive. Please be advised, I am not saying the text, nor by taking a contextual stand is wrong, but I am saying if you are depending only on that, it is indeed erroneous. It is indeed wrong. He who takes the text without leaning on the spirit of Yahusha is like one who would take control of someone's possession without instructions on how to use it or what it is to be used for. The scriptures are not for us to snatch and run, to take, to cherry pick, to throw at one another. We will find the life in them, and in doing so we will see that they flow like a river of water as the living spirit of Yahusha functions within us. My brothers and sisters, consider there are many who are over anxious, overzealous, extremely charismatic, etc. But this does not mean that they will come to discern what is being said, let alone what must be done. Milk to meat requires one who understands, who's able to discern and hear what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying, who's able to receive his teachings and echo the sentiments of our living Messiah. It will be wise to come to the reality. Not all will come to see the vision of what is to come. Not all brothers and sisters will come to recognize what is before us, what is happening. However, this will not stop our final exodus, nor will it cause end times to retreat. The time is now to rise up in the strength and the power of Yahusha Messiah, our Mashyach, and know the difference between milk and meat. The time is at hand for us to begin our journey from milk to meat, for which can only come to be by our actions, not just words. In other words, our actions will speak louder than the words. Our actions will define who we are and what is inside, stirring, working in us. It will be reflective enough to lift up Yahusha, or it will be a travesty of rebellion. Who has considered the growing population of those who hunger for meat, but for some reason there's more in abundance of milk? Have we not a responsibility to respond to the growing needs of Yasharal? Have we not a responsibility to grow in maturity, to meet, to contribute towards the building up of the body of one in Yahusha Messiah? Do you honestly think in these last days before the return of Yahusha Messiah, our Mashiach, that we can just blatantly use excuses that we are still nursing on milk? Are you ready, my brothers and sisters? Are you being prepared to eat heartily, so to speak, on the meat of the word and respond to what is necessary, what is ordered? If so, remember, before there can be milk, there must be water. So it is with meat. Before there can be meat, there must be water. Water is the key ingredient. Water is the word often used as the word representative of the word of the Most High. Then we find milk, then meat. Or did the milk come before the meat, or the meat before the milk? I submit to you the milk came after the meat, except at the very creation. My brothers and sisters, consider these words. Ephesians 5:25-27 reads, Husband, love your wife as Messiah also did love the assembly and gave himself for it, in order to set it apart and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, in order to present it to himself a splendid assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any of this sort, but that it might be set apart and blameless. Also consider Titus 3:5-7, which reads, He saved us, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his compassion through the washing of rebirth and renewal of the set-apart Spirit, which he poured out on us richly through Yahusha Messiah, our Savior, that having been declared right by his favor, we should become heirs according to the expectation of everlasting life. And Jeremiah 23:29 reads, "Is not my word like fire, declares Yahuah, and like a hammer that shatters a rock?" My brothers and sisters, are children allowed to play with fire? Is it dangerous to place fire in the hands of one unskilled or unlearned? I have witnessed many who think highly of themselves, professing to be ready for more responsibility, but are totally unaware of the severity that comes with the accountability and responsibility placed in the hands of an individual. There are many who think they're ready and are not. There are many who think they are well learned, but void of hearing what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying. Accountability, as well as responsibility, is not something glamorous, nor is it something to take lightly. I tremble from time to time as I believe I am responding to the guidance of the living Spirit of Yahusha. I tremble. I ask myself, what if I'm wrong? I ask myself questions. I seek answers. And all too often I find reinforcement and confirmation when I am right, as led by the Spirit of Yahusha. Do I stumble and fall at times? I do. Do I make mistakes? I will. Do I speak boldly and confidently at times? Yes, for I say hallelujah and praise the Almighty Father Yahuah for Yahusha Messiah. For it is in the washing of his blood, it is in the shed blood of the Lamb, Yahusha, that I understand the power of his atonement. It is through the set-apart Spirit sent in Yahusha's name by the Almighty Father that I understand and embrace the regeneration that gives me the energy, the fortitude, the boldness to walk forward. Let me remind you, my brothers and sisters, Matthew 12:36 reads, "And I say to you that for every idle word man speak, they shall give an account of it in the day of judgment." Romans 14:12 say, "Each one of us therefore shall give an account of himself to Elohim." Let us be mindful, my brothers and sisters, though we hunger to move from milk to meat, though many of us will move from milk to meat in these end times, as we are refined and perfected and prepared for that final exodus, there will be those who will prematurely jump out there claiming to be eating meat. Let us not succumb to false proclamations, practices, teachings, and behaviors. Those who are on milk will depend on those who are able to eat meat. They will come to know times when some of our brothers and sisters will depend on those whom they believe to be walking in obedience. Let us run this race with patience. Let us be mindful of those who may not be aware of the things we have seen or that have been brought to our attention. Let us learn to be in season as we are guided by the Spirit of Yahusha. My brothers and sisters, let us earnestly seek to discern what is being said. For orders are before us, warnings are going before us, living instructions are present. Let us keep our eyes focused, and as we worship and obey the Most High Father by the living teachings of Yahusha Messiah, our Mashyach, in spirit, working directly in us, through us, one towards another, or through his chosen leaders or sent messengers. Let us be mindful of all that is prepared, all that is working within us, before us, around us, and all that is to come from the Almighty Father to fulfill his promises. Will you be one who he moves towards another, or through the words of his sent messengers? Will you be one who will lead? Will you be one called to submit and yield, but yet be a component, a member, a part of something majestic in the Most High? Will you be one who understands the difference between meat and milk? Milk to meat comes with responsibilities. Rise up, my brothers and sisters. It will be by our actions and our deeds that we will echo the sentiments of individuals who are on milk or meat. It will be by our actions or deeds, whether they line up with scriptures or not, in whole, that will validate our position in Yahusha Messiah. To those who claim to be on meat, there will be tough choices, extremely hard decisions in the foreseeable future that will make our tasks most difficult and in some cases seem unbearable. But they will be accompanied with proof and power from the Most High Father. Choose wisely. Let us choose wisely our words, our actions as we walk circumspect or cautiously, for end times will soon cause us to walk in obedience and echo the sentiments of the demands and orders from the Most High. Yes, my brothers and sisters, soon we will come to realize the demands that are before us, and in some cases, it will require a rapid response. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, continue to seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. Continue to pursue Yahusha Mashyach with all your mind, body, and soul. Let us continue to pursue what is right, and let us, in our worship and obedience, lift up Yahusha Messiah and watch him draw us together in him and present us before the Almighty Father Yahuah. Until such a time as next time, I invite you to continue to tune in to From Four Corners. Shalom, shalom, shalom.